Are your daily decisions being affected by what others think about you? Do you want to learn a roadmap to build your confidence and authenticity? If you answer yes to any of these questions, stay here. In this lesson, we are going to learn the power of being authentic. Welcome to the channel Secrets of Happiness. In order to achieve your highest personal goals in life, you should study, apply the knowledge and understanding that people from other cultures have used to achieve their own long-lasting happiness. Within this channel, we help you in 3 ways. Number 1, we select and share the best resources available from a multitude of backgrounds from each corner of the earth. Number 2, we teach you how to put these methods and principles into use in a completely friendly and easy to understand manner so you can achieve your own personal goals. And finally, because of my love and passion for teaching other people, I will give you simple step-by-step exercises, completely free. I'm Juan Camilo Lovera, passionately convinced that you have the abilities to accomplish anything you want in life. I hope to be your friend in every step of the way. Without further ado, we begin! Welcome to the video of this week. In today's lesson, we are going to continue studying these 9 principles in order to be happy. Today we are going to learn the second principle, which is called Be Authentic. If you remember the fable, and if you didn't watch that video, please click here so you get sense about what we are talking about. The story said that the tulip was special. She was a singer. And what does it mean? She was not another tulip. She was special, as the fable said. And from now, the way how you are going to remember and to memorize this principle for your life is remembering this principle. Memorizing it, that you are not one other human, you are special. Before understanding the principles and exercises that I want to share with you this week, let's check examples of people that have been authentic during the history. And nowadays, we still remember them. So, here we go. The first example, or the first leader that maybe you remember, is Mahatma Gandhi, an Indian leader. Gandhi was a lawyer, but changed his life to lead the Indian independence. Was jailed several times for his protest against British rule. Another example of a great leader is Martin Luther King. He was an American symbol of the fight against racial discrimination. He passionately supported the civil rights movement despite violent opposition in parts of the states. Recently, Mother Teresa, a wonderful lady. She was born in Albania. She left for India with virtually no money and devoted her life to serving the poor of Calcutta, overcoming poverty, disease, and criticism. She expanded her mission across the world. And a great leader that she is still alive, we are talking about Malala, the Pakistani schoolgirl. She is actually 19 and defied threats of the Taliban to campaign for the right to education. She survived being shot in the head and has become a global advocate for human rights, women's rights, and the right to education. As you can see, the people that have succeeded the most and the great important things around the history, and we are not talking just about social entrepreneurs and social leaders. If you study the life as people as Steve Jobs and other fields and industries, you will find that the greater leaders have been always stubborn, like against the society, against what people told them to do. And here we are gonna touch something important and that makes a huge change and difference in our thoughts, in what we consider right or wrong. And I'm talking about culture. The culture are those traditions, those thoughts, those little ideas that your family and people in your city and in your country believe in a very, very strong way. And without being aware, you was born with that. I was born with that, and all of us was born with that. But for example, it's not the same cultural pressure or the cultural principles that a person from here in South Korea have about education or how to work or which kind of job they want to get, than some belief that maybe a person from India can have, or an European, or a person from my country, from Colombia. We have differences. And how is the way how you can detect that changes? Because if you, let's say, I'm gonna talk about my example. Let's say you were born in Colombia, and if all your life you stay there, you will never understand which principles or which beliefs you are following, because you are like blind, you know? But the best way in order to identify these things is traveling. That's why, or that's one of the reasons why I really love traveling, because when I go to a different country, especially if it is a very different culture, I am going to identify new things that maybe I was thinking like in all the world might be that like this, but it's not like that. And that open your mind, that help you to think out of the box. And it's very, very important, and I really highly recommend you to travel. So, coming back to the idea, remember that the culture gives you different ideas that shape you, you know? Like, this is your soul, and when you are born in a certain culture, you begin thinking different things, like how the family might be, which kind of food should I eat, how do I dress, how do I express. It's not the same thing if you were born in New York than if you were born in Alabama, you know, like different kind of accents and different ways of thinking. Okay, if you don't want to travel, or if you can't travel right now, let's check books. Let's watch movies from other countries, and you will begin identifying those kind of things. So the first step is to identify which things I am doing because of my culture. Not because that's me, just because I am following what the culture and what society tells me. That's the first step. The second step is to know and to understand who am I. And I'm going to share you just in a second which exercise exactly do in order to find that. But we always think and face these kind of decisions. Let's say you go to a shopping mall and you want to buy some new clothes, and you see this crazy hat, blue hat, that is not aligned with your life, and you said like, hey, I really like that style, but what people might think about me, you know? Or maybe you are studying medicine just because your parents support you and told you, okay, yes, medicine is a very good career, you should study medicine, you should study law, you should study business. But the reality is that maybe what you really love is to cook or to paint or to sing. Begin thinking and being aware of these little decisions that at the end they are not little at all, but you are taking that decisions just because you have pressure over you. So the first step, being aware. And the second step, stop thinking about what others think about you. Most of humans, including me and all of us, are constantly thinking, what is he thinking about me? If you are in the train or in the metro or in the bus going to your house, you saw that beautiful lady and you might think like, oh my God, what is she talking about me? What is she thinking about me? Or you saw this group of 3 or 4 guys and they are laughing and they saw you, and you instantaneously is like, oh my God, how am I looking? What am I doing? And if you take those little things, those little thoughts to other areas of your life, you will see that you are taking a lot of decisions just because you want to be aligned and you want to receive good feedback from others. Maybe you are in the job that you are now just in order to be aligned with others. Maybe you have the girlfriend or the boyfriend just because your mom or your dad likes. And think in your own life, which kind of things are you doing, or which kind of things, which is more important, you are not doing just because you are afraid about what others think of you. Stop thinking about that. Or you think it doesn't matter, just do it. Just follow your instincts, follow your heart. That is very, very important. People that know me, especially my parents, they had always said that I've been always very stubborn, you know, like against their ideas, against what should be correct or right, because that's something that I really, really am sure about that, and I've been following always my thoughts, always my instincts. Of course, it's not just like I have a thought and I follow it. No, I think about if I really like it, the consequences, some things, but I just do it. Just go for it. Don't think too much. Take action. Take action. Let's do something. This is not the exercise. Take it as a little practice. Take your notebook and write right now those things that you are not doing or that you are doing just because you're afraid or you are thinking too much about what others think of you. Think of how you are dressing, think on today. What did you do today? What are you doing now? Where are you now? Why are you there? Are you really passionately about this? Please write it right now. One of the most important and beautiful things, and why is this aligned with happiness, is because when we follow our instincts, instantaneously we feel peace, we feel serenity, because we are doing things that we really enjoy, things that we really love, not just following others. And this brings me to a topic that is called the comfort zone. The comfort zone is nothing more than everything what you know, all your knowledge, all your habits, all the things, activities, and let's say traditions, thoughts, and so on that you already know. Now, in this moment, this is your comfort zone. This is where you are, you know? You know how to swim, so this is your comfort zone. You just go to the ocean and swim. You know how to sing, so you just take your microphone and sing because you already know it. You know how to talk to that beautiful lady that you saw on the street, so you just go for it. And take it to another fields. Think on this. When you were a kid, you always knew which of your parents was better to talk to, your mom or your dad, in order to get the permission. So that's your comfort zone, you know, like the one that you already know. And this, let's say this is the comfort zone, but there is something bigger, which is called the learning zone. You have the comfort zone and the learning zone. Always the learning zone will be much bigger. Why? Because in the learning zone, there are all those things that you didn't know how to do, that you didn't experiment. Let's say I know how to swim, but I don't know how to take a boat, like, well, exactly here there are no this kind of little boats, and just ride it, you know, like with the wind, and take it just alone and go in the middle of the ocean. That will be a learning zone. Let's think about other example. You want to travel alone, but you never do it. You know, you don't know how is it, you're afraid of maybe what can happen to me, and if you take the decision, that will be your learning zone, because you are expanding your comfort zone. So the main characteristic when you go out from your comfort zone is that you will feel fear. That's normal, absolutely normal. If you are afraid of talking in public, you know, in a conference, or let's do it small, in front of your class, in front of a meeting, if you are feeling fear inside you, it's because that is not part of your comfort zone. You know, you are pushing you in order to go to your learning zone. So, first thing, it's normal to feel fear. But the main difference between successful people and average people is that successful people feel fear, but go for it. Have courage to go. The definition of courage is when you feel fear, you feel it, but you do it. That's the main difference. So the next time you feel fear about something, yes, feel it, enjoy it, and do it. Because when you do it, you are learning and you are expanding your comfort zone. Now your comfort zone is with this new activity included. Now you know how to speak in a meeting, and that's your comfort zone. Now you are going to learning, so you are going to go and talk in front of a conference of 100 people, and then 500 people, and then 1,000 people, and then 10,000 people. Why not? Dream big always. So the first thing is, remember, to be authentic is doing the things that you really like to do, even if your culture, even if your society is telling you constantly that you don't do that. Then there is something called comfort zone and learning zone. And all the things that you do are part of your comfort zone. All the things that you don't know but you can learn are part of your learning zone. So when you go from the comfort zone to the learning zone, you will feel fear. But the difference, or what differentiates successful and average people, is that successful people feel fear but take action. Do it, right? And I will close this part with a very good quotation from Jorge Bucay. He says, "Let go out the real self, the hero that you are when you are yourself." Study. Well, it's almost 5 p.m. I'm here in Busan, South Korea. I recommend you to come here. It's a beautiful country. Now they are in winter. It's December right now. It was not so cold today. That's why I'm using gloves and a lot of stuff that you will need in this weather. I am not used to winter because I'm from Colombia, as you know, and we don't have seasons there. But, well, I'm enjoying it, and with a little bit more of mindset to the winter. So without further ado, let's share the exercises for today. I prepared for you 3 useful and simple exercises. Let's go for it. Exercise number 1, letter for yourself. Letter for yourself. What is this about? You are going to take your notebook. Remember, we saw on the first lesson that you need a notebook because in most of the lessons you are going to need this in order to do the exercises. So I hope that you already have your notebook. And the letter for yourself is a letter that you will write from you to yourself. Yeah? Imagine that you are writing this letter to you in, let's say, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. It's up to you. But what really matters is that you are going to write in this letter the things that you are proud of. And you are going to tell thank you to yourself, because you take the right decisions, because you follow your dreams. And in order to learn this in a very better way, I want to share with you my letter for myself. And it says, "Dear Juan Camilo, this letter is mainly to express my gratitude with you for helping millions of humans, changing their lives, and creating a movement of people that is transforming in a positive way the world. Thank you for having and showing a life that inspires me every day, for sharing with people from all the world your knowledge. Thank you for the books you wrote that completely changed my life. Thank you for your courses, retreats, and academies. And thank you for being you, connected with God, taking good decisions, working consistently and smartly to achieve all this. Continue being you and never stop inspiring me." This is the example of my letter. As you can see, I am writing this letter to myself, and I feel in this moment that I am talking this loudly and sharing this letter for you. The thing that you feel here is very powerful, you know? It's like you're programming your brain, your life, in order to achieve all this. And I want that you do the same. So, exercise number 1, letter for yourself. Exercise number 2, you are going to plan your next trip, a solo trip to another country. I know this sounds crazy, and maybe a lot of you might say it like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, and so on. But I will tell you first, why to another country? Because that will let you think out of the box. That is not some, I will share with you things that I learned through my travels, through my trips, but it's not the same, and I can't share with you all the things that I learned while I am traveling. And I want for you the same. Even if you just can go 1 week, 3 days, 4 days, go to another country. That will help you to learn the things that you are doing just because of your culture. And why a solo trip? Why alone? Hey, no, Juan, I want to go with my girlfriend, I want to go with my mom, I want to go with my best friend. Yes, that's nice, but that's another kind of trip. When you travel alone, first, you will have time for yourself. You will have time in order to find your goals, in order to know better yourself. When you are alone in a country where they speak a different language, you need to do things that you never do in your country, and you will do in a better way if you are alone. That will help you a lot, trust me. And also, you will meet more people, because when you are alone, it's easy to make friends. You know, when you are, let's say, with your mom, you are just with your mom. When you are with your boyfriend, you are just with your boyfriend. But when you are alone, you will meet a lot of people from a lot of countries. So as I said, let's say I'm now in South Korea, but I don't meet just people from South Korea. I meet people from all over the world. And I travel to their countries through the change of stories. That's amazing. So that's the exercise number 2. Plan it, even if it is in 1 year, in 2 years, in 6 months. Plan it and go for it. I don't have money, I just have the little amount per month. Hey, if you are not investing on yourself, where you want to take your life? Invest on yourself, begin saving right now, and plan that solo trip. If you want some advices about the countries that I've been traveling, just let me know in the comments and I will share with you tips and things that I have learned. Okay, and our third and most important exercise. And I want to call this third exercise not an exercise. This is a project. You are going to choose one thing that you are not doing because whatever, or because you are afraid and this is not part of your comfort zone, or because you are thinking too much about what others tell you or what others might think about you. It doesn't matter the reason, but the really important thing is that one thing you really love to do. And this project, I learned it when I was in the university. A teacher which is called Carlos Largacha, and I am very thankful with you guys if you are listening to me right now. And the exercise is very simple. From now until you will have 30 days. 30 days, it's more than enough in order to go for your project. So I will share with you what I did so you will have an idea. When I was in the university, I studied business administration. I was working in a company, like doing business things and so on, but I always liked music, you know? And I had a friend, my best friend in the university, and actually is my best friend now. We shared that thing, that dream, that life about music. So our project was to create a song and present it in a live scenario in front of at least 100 people. That was our project, and we wanted to do in 1 month. So we do it, we recorded the song, we did a party, a launch party about the song. That bar and that disco was full of people, more than 100 people, and that was crazy. Really, the thing that you feel when you are doing things that you really love, I can't describe it. You will find by yourself. So the exercise number 3 is choose one thing that you are afraid of and you want to do, and during these 30 days, you'll have 30 days in order to show to others in public. It can be on a stage, it can be by social media, like showing others how you did it. It can be in a social event, or it's up to you. It's very important that you show others how you did it. Why? Because that will push you to go against or to face your fear and your thoughts about what others think about you. Choose your project, and if you have any question, if you are facing any problem, any trouble in order to face this thing, please let me know it, or in the comments of this video, or in our fan page. For me, it will be very important to listen to you. In order to begin, answer this question in this specific moment in the video. What will be your project? Are you going to write a book? Are you going to act in front of a stage? Are you going to cook for all your family? What are you going to do? What you want to do? At the end, if you do not take action, yes, I can inspire you a lot. I can teach you very important and useful principles, but the real important thing is that you take action. You have 3 exercises right now. You have one simple exercise as writing a letter. You have one exercise that is about planning your next trip, and you have a project that you can do in the next 30 days. That's all. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, please like it, because that will help us to make bigger this community. I'm Juan Camilo, and see you in the next lesson.